What's up, Stone Birds? It's your boy Halfa back at it with a special guest, but we aren't in the cave today. We're in a smaller place, and I'm fat and it's hot and I'm sweaty.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I should probably get like something to like pin this up too. 'Cause it's probably like hanging right down in the view of my face too. I don't know. I got
Tighten it knot. You were in Boy Scouts, weren't you?
very, very shortly.
Anyway, we're here with a special guest, Austin. He's from the Stroking Out Loud. Our last episode was with Caleb, so our next episode should be with Mr. Spider, but we'll talk about that later. For now, got your boy Austin in the building.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Rough Half Production. Damn, son.
What's up? What's up?
Woo woo.
We out here. It's your boy, the most annoying one, the throwing up guy.
Yeah.
Gotta keep the show spicy, you know. So yeah, we're out here in my fucking shed, dude. Yeah, it's a pretty sweet spot, huh? I live here, unfortunately.
In this little spot.
Yeah.
Just this little spot right here.
This is where I spend a lot of my time at, yeah. Come out here to fuck around, play the bass. Got some guitar cases that I store out here, and
Well, probably not that one.
no,
for
there's
sure.
nothing in neither of these.
Oh, okay.
You got to keep your guitars inside, man.
Yeah,
Don't
okay.
store them in attics or sheds, people. Seriously,
Don't do that.
they're delicate. Keep them inside.
You're gonna get a little stoned enough to be playing us a tune later.
Maybe, I don't know, man. Sure. I mean, I could play something. I'm sure. I just don't know how good it'll sound. It's been a while since I've played the guitar, man. I've just been playing with the bass a bunch as of recently, fucking around the band, you know.
Drifters.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of fun. It's hard to find people that play music that I like and play. I'm not like a huge country guy. I know I'm here in Texas, but I've
That
just
don't-
never.
that don't mean shit.
I've just never been into country. I grew up in Hamilton, Ohio, so that's where I spent from the time I was a baby till the time I was 20. And in that time, there just wasn't the group I was involved in wasn't really involved in country so much. And I mean, growing up with my dad, he listened to all like hard rock and shit. So
Like Metallica.
it was more. I guess you would call it more classic rock. You know, like the Eagles, Led Zeppelin, Judas Priest. There was some heavier stuff sprinkled in there, but mainly like hair bands, Van Halen. And when I was a kid, AC/DC was like my favorite band of all fucking time, dude. I would just burn the tape up, and yes, it was a cassette tape.
Well, you are like 43, didn't you say?
Yeah, close enough. I feel like it for sure. You know what I mean? But yeah, from there, basically, I've always was just real drawn into that type of music, rock music, and I was 9 years old one day, and I was listening to the radio. I would always try to find songs on the radio or music on the radio, and I found the station way back in the 8s. It was 89.5 WHSS, Hamilton, Cincinnati. And it was in the summertime, and I started realizing that they would play all these badass rock songs. It was like an alternative rock station. It was the music I liked. And they would play 3 songs, and then it'd say 89.5 WHSS, Hamilton, Cincinnati, commercial-free radio. Boom, music again. I was like, did I just find a fucking cheat code? Because I hate commercials.
No
they're
shit.
like, I'm like thinking, I'm like, how are they getting away with this? Because like radio stations, I feel like it was like a rule. They had to play commercials. You know what I mean? All radio stations did. Not this radio station. Not during the
That was
summertime.
probably like a private radio station.
I'm getting there, dude. So, I ended up finding out it was the high school's radio station. And the reason that it was commercial free was because during the school year, every Tuesday, they had an educational seminar. And that, since it was an educational station, I guess there's, rules and shit. It could be commercial free. All they had to do was say the radio station every certain amount of time, because
Right.
that's part of like the FCC laws. And I was like, man, that's really cool. it'd be cool to like be on the radio someday. And then when I was 9 years old, or when I was 12 years old, I lived across the street from the high school, and there was a during the school year they would have kids come in and like talk on the radio because it was a class. You know what I mean?
Right.
'Cause it was broadcasting class, and the teacher would like show them how to run the boards and then put them in the studio, and they would have their own little hour show or whatever and call it whatever they want and let people call in and request songs and shit. But one day this girl was like, man, I really want a Sunday, and McDonald's was right down the road. So my dad was like, listen, he's like, hey bro, you should call up there and tell her you bring her a Sunday. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. I was like kind of nervous, but I called and I was like, I'll bring you a Sunday. And she's like, all right, bring it over, room J109. And I was like, okay, bet. So I'd ride my bike up to McDonald's, get the Sunday, ride it over to the high school, walk in, find the room. It's like after hours, like out of, school's like out, but like she's still there after school doing a radio show. And walk in, bro, and she put me on the radio at 12 years old. Was like, this kid brought me a Sunday, what's your name, little boy? And I was like, I'm Austin. Yeah, I stuttered. Like, my birthday's January 14th. And then my dad got it all on tape recording because he was at the house listening, and he recorded it on a tape cassette, old school. And then like 10 years later, I recorded over it on accident.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Not 10 years later. It was like 5 years later. I was like making a super sweet mixtape and fucking bagooshed that shit. But yeah, ever since that moment, I was like, dude, when I get to high school, like room J109 is going to be my fucking jam. I'm going to that class. I'm going to be on the radio. And so I fucking was, man. Get to high school, get into that radio station. And we did a year where you couldn't even be on the radio, You just had to learn fucking ohm readings and stupid shit. And the teacher, bless his heart, he was like monotone as fuck. Like the clear eyes guy. So it was really hard to pay attention. But got through that and then got my own radio show with my buds and called the Midday Spank. Teacher approved that. Yeah. He's a badass. I don't care how monotone he is. But yeah, did that. Started getting really heavy into music. I was always into rock music, but then when I got into high school, I kind of started delving more into rap. And then I had a buddy named Tyler Carson who was like stupid good at freestyling. And like we'd be walking home all drunk and he'd like freestyle, and like finally I was like, man, I want to learn that. So I kind of started getting into like rapping and stuff, and that was a lot of fun. And met people that way, and boom, now we're here, Texas. And I moved down here and it was like a complete different world. Nobody.
I worked up there for a little bit.
Really?
Up in Youngstown.
Okay, that's way north.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Dude.
That's a rough spot.
Where we were at, too, it was crazy because like the hotel was like right across from this bar, Krakatoa.
Mm.
And
that's what they named it?
Yeah. Okay, so we go there and we're like, oh, cool, it's got pool. We hang out. They got good food, and then we're like, we didn't find out until probably like a year after working there. There's a gay bar, and we went there like 6 or 7 times.
But it was a chill vibe every time.
So many nice people, dude. They were always buying me drinks.
Who cares, man?
Saying I looked good, and I was like, thanks. I was like, that's cool, bro. And
you look good when you get compliments from guys. Straight up.
I know I called her, and I was like, you better watch out. No.
Yeah, Youngstown is that's where Tony Hinchcliffe's from. Are you familiar with him at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's from there.
Dude, yeah.
Oh,
I know. That's why whenever I heard like he was from there, I was like,
I'm obsessed. I talk about it too much. Talk about it on my podcast. Talk about it on this podcast.
But dude, I could go like I love it too. I want to go on. Have you been on it?
Huh?
Have you been on it?
Not yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. I mean, if the fucking guys from Are You Garbage can do it, then so can we. Sorry. I don't know if you're familiar with those guys. But I don't know how they did it. But that means we can do it.
I've got a minute lined up.
Oh, that's cool. I thought you were just talking about being a guest on their show, like as a like podcaster, comedian.
But to go up on it would be cool too.
Yeah, I've had a couple minutes in mind. I don't know if I could do it, man. It's really hard. It's an awesome platform, but and I really love the dynamic.
To get roasted too.
Yeah, and I love the dynamic of the show, and it's a good way for people to get seen too. But it sucks when I feel like I would be one of the guys where he'd be like, "All right, you came up here and you wasted our time." boo this man. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm like, fuck. Like, because I just don't think I'd have a good enough
I
minute.
love you. And
Exactly.
you're
I
like,
just go up
weird.
there to dick ride is all I would do. So I probably just wouldn't sign up. I'd go to it. I'd love to go to a show.
Yeah.
See it live.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. And I would 100% do that. But tickets are expensive, man.
I bet.
So what about you? You always grew up in Stephenville or
Yeah. Well,
is
like,
that
I was born in Steenville, but like I lived in like Morgan Mill and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I mean, it's not that
It's
far.
in the area.
But yeah, I mean that was like country, to me. And then coming to Steenville, I was like, whoa. And then like I don't go to Dallas and stuff like that. I'm not that type of person. But yeah, I grew up in Steenville and been there. Like I said, I worked out north. I was up in like Kentucky, Ohio, Illinois, Michigan, and shit.
It's a beautiful area up
It
in the
is,
Kentucky
dude.
hills and stuff.
If I was to move from Texas, I'd probably move somewhere up there just because of how like.
And the seasons, man, a fall lasts so long. It's the best.
Oh,
It's the best. Nobody's better.
It's the best. I walked in. I said it's the best.
Yeah, I mean seriously, like the leaves slowly and gradually all change colors at the same time, and they're different colors. And here you get that for like a week. You can get like color changing on trees, and it's a lot more lush up there too. But being down here, I love it down here. I mean, I can't complain too much. Of course, there's complaints for everywhere you go, but where I grew up in was a rough spot. It wasn't all fucking radio shows and freestyle rapping while I was drunk. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
that's how, in Steamville, that's how it is. Because I hung out. I'm half Mexican, like obviously. But that's who I hung out with. Was like a bunch of Mexicans and stuff. And that's how everybody get drunk and start freestyling. I started freestyling. I just kind of like a fucking dumb white boy.
I used to be pretty good at it. I don't know if I could just like bust down freestyles. I met my buddy Zach a couple years ago, and every once in a while we'll get drunk and freestyle. And we haven't done it in a while, but I remember I started kind of getting better. Me and him both were getting better, but you got to just do it, more to get better at it.
It's coming getting on y'all's pod. I told Caleb I'm gonna get the Bert and Tom's vodka and bring it whenever I come to y'all's pod.
Yeah,
so we can like sip a little bit of it and stuff.
Yeah,
we're gonna freestyle.
Sweet. I mean, I'm down, dude. I'll do it, and I'll make a fool of myself too. But
it's okay.
I always have fun doing it, especially when I'm drinking.
I hate whenever I like. There's people that I'll freestyle with, but they're like talking shit, and it's like, dude, I'm just like.
I kind of grew up in the battle rap scene, so like it's almost nature for me to try to want to talk shit, not to someone specifically, but just about something.
Just to be like, yeah.
Yeah, I use my filler is I don't give a fuck. Everybody's got a filler that they use when they're thinking of stuff, and mine's I don't give a fuck. It's so cliche and poopy. And my girlfriend absolutely hates it when I freestyle rap, but she cannot stand it. She's like, you could do other stuff, play the guitar and sing, like,
she's like,
or just
doing your best thing.
Or she just thinks I suck at it too. So she's like, I don't want to hear it.
She's just saying that it motivates you.
Well. She's from Texas too, so they're not used. When she first met me, I wore flat bills, so and high tops. She hated every bit of me. Besides, I guess me as a person.
When we first got together, she was like, she told me to. She's like, you weren't my top.
Yeah, I was not her type either. Not her style. The only thing that she liked about me was my white tees. I used to rock white tees like constantly. It was my jam. Fresh folded with the split, right there. And I don't know. We worked it out that way. And she's not really she really dug the music I listened to. It was like mainly just a lot of like unknown stuff. I'm a fucking hipster, I guess, but I've always been that way. I was the OG
like live,
hipster. Yeah. That's the cool thing about when I was on the radio show, man. You could find that. I was like, man, I would hear a song on that radio station. And then 3 months later, somebody would say something to me about that song. Have you heard that song yet? Or I'd hear it on another station. And I've been like, dude, I've been listening to it like 3 to 6 months on this other station because the high school kids would always know it was about to pop. Yeah, and they would bring it to that teacher and he'd listen, be like, oh yeah, we can put this on the radio. And bam, boom, there it is on the fucking radio. So when I got there, I was always trying to like, what songs can we put on the radio, And I don't think I ended up getting any songs approved by him. But I didn't at the time I was so busy with other stuff. I would just do the radio show, and then if I thought a song was cool, I'd be like, hey, we could put this song on there, and he'd be like, dude, it's already in there. I'm like, fuck, somebody else already did it, you know what I mean? But then when they got rid of that class, they gave away all the CDs, bro. It was wild. You know what I mean? Because you bring the CD in. It was like
Right.
old school like that. You'd bring the CD in, they put it in that fucking machine, and it'd just be loaded up. But yeah, they had a bunch of CDs they burned onto disc, and they had all types of shit. And then the other side of the classroom was all like video broadcasting. So they had separate studios that were soundproof and shit. So you could be in the soundboard side doing that, and then you could be looking through the glass, and there's 3 other people in that other room. You know what I mean, with just mics. You could record shit in there. It was a really cool spot. So
Your school is so much better than mine.
they had a lot of cool stuff.
My high school and stuff, they got mad if you had your iPod out in the hallway.
It was a huge school too, though. That's just why there's a lot of kids there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even know how many were in my graduating class, but it was like the biggest one ever. I think we started with like 1,200 kids. No, that's not right. It was like we started with 900 and ended with like 700 or something like that. There was a lot of kids.
Because then a lot of them realized, man, fuck school.
Right. Or moved or shit
Yeah.
like that, obviously. But I don't know, man. It was all right. Being there was all right, but being here is really cool, and I met a lot of cool people here too. Growing up there, I met tons of cool people. There were bad people, sure, but down here, I met all types of cool people. They just didn't like the same music I did. You know what I mean? In the end of the day, it's like we can still get along, and some of them do. So there's always that. And now I got the podcast I do with Caleb, and that's a lot of fun.
Hey, you've been doing it 2 years? You were saying?
Yeah, something like that. Caleb just hit me up one day like, hey, I want to be on a podcast. At the time, I listened to a couple podcasts, so I was like, yeah, I can do that. And I'd been on the radio before, so it wasn't a thing to me. Just went over to his house one night after he bought the equipment, and we sat down and figured it all out and got it up and running and started running some episodes, man.
Now y'all are hearing.
So what made you do the podcast thing?
Like when I was working up north, that's all I listened to. Like I didn't really listen to music while I was working. It was podcast. It was Theo Von, Joe Rogan.
Just like with an earbud in while you're at work?
Yep.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Hell
And it's
yeah.
like, they'd always be like, "You listen to music?" And I'm like, "Nope."
You
First
like-
off, I'm learning.
They like come around the corner and you're laughing. And they're like, what the fuck are you laughing at,
I'm
dude?
like, I tickled my butthole. Sorry,
Alright.
I just got a little excited. I'm happy to work here, guys. But no, I've just been listening to the podcast for a while, and I was like, man, I want to start my own, because I love sitting down and talking with people and stuff, and especially when I was traveling, working, I was meeting so many people, and I just like I wanted
Right.
to learn their story. I wanted to hear like what their life was like growing up, and like how different or how similar it was. I don't know if I said that word right.
Yeah, no, I mean, for sure. Everybody kind of walks their own path. And, there's that saying, you can do whatever you want, but I get too high sometimes. You know what I mean?
I'm with you on that. dude.
There's just so
I
many
love-
paths in life to take, man. I mean, straight up. People go from doing one thing to another, One day I was playing guitar and singing, and now I'm playing bass.
One day I was smoking meth, and next day I was doing a podcast.
And I ain't ever done that.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I'm not like that anymore. I
Yeah.
went through that time, the part I was chasing the dragon.
Hey, bro, don't get me wrong. Like, that's the thing. I mean, I know tons of people that were on heavy drugs. That's probably why I've stayed away from it. I mean, growing up in Ohio, heroin was the thing. Like, down here, meth is the dope. When I was up in Ohio, they'd be like, so-and-so's on dope. And it was like, oh, they're on heroin. And then I remember when I moved down here, so-and-so said something about, somebody being on dope. I'm like, yeah, heroin. Fucking grab a hold of you. And they were like, what? Gross. No, dude. Meth. They were like, we're talking about meth. And I was like, oh, so that's the thing down here.
You're like, that's fake.
But I just saw so many people, mainly when I left. I was never one to do like hard drugs like that. Even pills. I didn't even do pills.
Right.
I just smoked weed and drank. And then finally, one of my buddies talked me into doing acid. And that was always fun. I mean, eye-opening experience for sure. So I've messed around with psychedelics. But other than that, I did coke one time when I was 9 because my older stepbrother convinced me to. And I had severe ADHD. I probably still do. But I didn't feel shit, bro. I was at the Wendy's with Meemaw, like nudging my brother, like, bro, I don't feel nothing. And he's like, oh, you will. And I was like, and I never did.
You're just like, this is
Yeah, I was
whack,
just
bro.
chilling. I'm like, I'm cooling,
Here's
bro.
some
I feel like I took my medicine.
Yeah.
I just feel like Adderall to me.
That's, I remember in school one time, like vibe amps was the thing, and everybody was getting them because it get them all like jittery and wired up and stuff. I was like, fuck it, I'll try it. I fucking popped it. Next period, I was like,
Is that some sort of ADHD medicine?
yeah.
Yeah, I never took that. I did Ritalin, which never worked, and then
Adderall.
Adderall 100% worked for me, bro. I had them 20 milligram XRs, and they prescribed me 40. I was supposed to pop 2 of them bitches. I was like, bro, that zones me, bro. So I would just do one, and it was like perfect. You know, I'd do my schoolwork, I'd pay attention. But it was so bad that my friends like could tell the moment I would like within 1 minute they could be like, "You took your medicine today, huh?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." All just like zombied out. Or if I was like all skitty, they'd be like, "You didn't take your medicine, did you?" And I'm like, "Nope."
They're like, nah, I did.
They're like, I like this Austin a lot better,
Yeah.
you know. But it did help me through school. I'll say that. And dude, I made a fucking shit ton of money off that shit. Once I found out what it did to other people, I gave my buddy Kent 2 of them, and I was like, "Take one now. If you don't feel anything, take one later." And he was like, "All right." And I turn around, and he's got both of them motherfuckers in his mouth. Went, and I was like, "Oh no!" Because like I knew what it did to me. I literally had no like I wasn't. I was at the time I was in the 7th grade, and he was in the 8th, so I had no idea what it would do to other people. And yeah, dude, go to leave my house the next day. It's like 6 in the morning, and he lived right down the street from me. And he was just sitting on my steps when I walked out the door, and I was like, "Holy shit, dude, what's up? What are you doing here?" He's like, "Bro, I stayed up all night. I cleaned my whole house. My dad, he was asleep, and I was like cleaning up around him in his room and shit. He's like, the house is spotless. Thing is, I don't think I'm gonna make it through school." And I was like, "So he's like, I think I need another one." And I was like, I got you, bro. And he made it through school, man, that whole day. And then after school, we were walking home. He's like, "I feel all right, but like I know I'm gonna crash soon." He said, "It's coming." And that's when I found out what they did to other people. And then by the time I got into high school, people were like, "Oh, you got Adderall?" And I was like, $2, selling it for $2. $2, bro. I was the lick. People were I was the lick.
They were licking.
But dude, I felt good about it. I didn't pay nothing for it, and I was making a little bit of lunch money here and there.
You weren't.
You know, I didn't.
Your parents?
I don't think that my parents paid much for it either. I had insurance or some shit, but
You have to pay for insurance.
yeah, well, I don't know, bro. I was poor.
You're like,
I
you know what? It
had
doesn't
I had
matter.
got that shit somehow. I don't know how my dad got it, but he finally noticed I was selling them because I guess he was selling them too, the little shithead. Because I only needed 30 of it, and I was prescribed 60. You know what I mean?
Right.
We knew that other one. I didn't need that spare one, so I started selling them. And I guess he just started noticing like more and more missing. He's like, "Are you selling those?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "What the fuck, dude?" And I was like, "What do you want me to tell you? I only need fucking 30 of them." And he's like, "Well, how much are you selling them for?" And I was like, $2-3. He's like, "You fucking idiot, dude. You need to sell those things for $5."
No shit.
I was like, "All right, I will." And I just started telling, and it was like they went faster. I was like $5, and in 20 minutes I had $50. Was like, whoa, that was cool.
And then they like have like bigger, like 10,
yeah,
20.
maybe I don't know. I was like, this is cool. And then there was one lady who's my friend's mom. She's like, "You are not selling those to me for $5. You've been selling to me for $3 for forever. They ain't going for no $5." And I was like, "All right, Jenny, I got you." But that was like the only reckless shit when I did when I was up there. Like I was saying, other people were doing like hardcore drugs. I was driving my buddy around to sell heroin, which I feel really bad about now. But he paid me really good. I was just a stupid kid. You know what I mean? I did stupid shit.
You were just a dude making money.
An entrepreneur of sorts. I was like,
people. You could write a book about that, and people would be like, "Oh wow, inspire those like the next drug dealer."
Well, I was like the only one in my group of people with a car, so I made a bunch of money all types of ways in my whip. You know, I was on all 4 wheels all the time. As soon as I got that car, it was like we everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
What was your first car, man?
It was a 1965 Chevy.
That's cool as shit.
Didn't
Did you and Caleb talk about this?
No.
He's a 1963.
Oh.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Well, I was like, it was my grandpa's. Like, it was one of those. He just had it in his yard, and like it just collected trash, pretty much. and he just gave it to me, and it had 3 on the tree, but then it was like the shifter was on the floor. It was weird. I don't know. I don't.
They did some sort of crazy conversion or something. They put a different transmission in it.
Drugs, dude. I got it from my dad's dad, which is Mexican, so.
Who knows?
Yeah. But I got it, and
this one have 2 transmissions.
This one's good. It still runs.
That is a station, mota.
But we kind of got it running, and then I think what happened. One of my dad's friends had like a 03 Chevy single cab that he was selling for pretty cheap, so I bought that. I started driving that for a minute, and then we sold the 65 or traded it for like a Mustang. Then I drove that for a little bit, and
hell yeah.
I sold it to one of my crazy ex-girlfriends.
Yeah.
Couldn't drive standard.
Oh, that stinks. Standards are the best. For a guy who I guess I'm considered a car guy because I fuck around with cars a lot, and I've built a couple, but I just haven't had that many, man. I had that. My first car was a 01 Saturn, L200, little 4-door Saturn, and I drove that around a lot. I bought it at like 183,000 miles on it. It was an automatic. I was 18 years old, young kid. And I paid like $2,700 for it. It was a clean looking car. And I drove it till it had 213,000 miles on it. And I bought it with 163,000. That's what it was. 163. Drove it to 212 and the timing chain broke. And I mean, I drove the piss out. I was nonstop in the car, dude. If there was gas in it, I was driving that gas out of it.
Right.
Like, we were always driving around. And in the town I lived in, you could drive 5 minutes and be like downtown in the city with like, 12, 13-story buildings. And then you could drive 5 minutes the opposite direction and be in the middle of a cornfield. So I knew all the routes.
Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio. I knew all the routes, like, through where I could, like, go out of town one way and come back in another. You know what I mean?
Right. All the back roads.
That's the thing that throws me off about this town, Granbury, is like, man, there ain't enough roads here. And in Ohio, I swear to God, I could take 5 different roads to the same place, or 5 different ways. You know what I mean? In Granbury, it's like, well, there's only one way to get there. You gotta go down 377, and once you get, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, why is there just 377 and 144? This is bullshit.
Or you'll turn down like one place, and you're like, okay, I think it's this way, and you keep going. And
You gotta bust around, dude. Yeah, you better turn the fuck around. But now I got all sidetracked talking about the fucking roads. ADHD, what's up? But yeah. So yeah, basically I drove everywhere in that Saturn. And I would haul so many people around in it. One time I thought one of the shocks went bad because the back right would sag real bad compared to the rest of the car. And so I fucking would fat shame people and be like, nah, you're bigger. You sit on this side. Because like I was like, this is my car. I don't give a shit. I don't care about hurting people's feelings. You're bigger. Sit over here. Sit on the left side. The right side be shaggy. And I finally went to get what I thought was just a shock replaced, and the coil spring was broken and fallen on top of itself. They were like, you might want to come look at this. And I was like, oh, that's bad. Yeah. Got it fixed, and then like, I don't know, 2,000 miles later, my timing chain broke. And so beefed that. That was the only car I had in Ohio. And then I moved down here and got my Prelude, which I still have. I got that in 2013. And got that, and I've just done little shit to it here and there. And now I wrapped it and put an engine in it. It's had 3 engines in it since I've had it. But the last one I just took out because I wanted a different engine. I wanted an iron sleeve engine. So I put a better engine in it, a more reliable engine. And then I bought my minivan and built that. Oh yeah, I had my Civic too. So yeah, I guess I've had a couple cars. I had a little Civic hatchback with an Integra engine in it, but I didn't build that. I just bought it that way. And
so you're a car guy.
Yeah, okay. It was a lot, but I just haven't had that many.
Right.
Other people that are car guys have had like 15 cars.
I got a buddy that's kind of how, but his trucks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how it is down here in Texas. Because usually it's like lowered trucks, you know.
Yeah, especially with the Mexicanos. Which I fuck with those, man. I think they're cool. But I haven't really just had that many. When I get stuff, I just tend to keep a hold of it. That's just how it works. I hang on to stuff, you know.
I drove a 2006 Chevy Avalanche.
Right.
It had like 140 miles when I got it. It's got almost 250,000 now.
Oh, sweet, bro. Yeah, those things are cool. My buddy had one, and he was always like the coolest kid ever driving around in that because,
You saying I'm cool?
well, just the avalanches. Like I don't know where I'm from, like especially back in the day, like those were nice as shit. You know what I mean? So you
Dude,
see-
well, now I had a lot of hate from it. People would always be like, "Oh, you're driving a girl's truck," and I'm like, "The funny thing is, you're still saying truck
yeah.
when you're in your car." No offense.
No, I don't. I like my cars, dude. I like driving around
It's
my
got
little go
toolboxes
karts.
on the side. And
But-
if you're really smart, you put a tarp in the back, make a pool, and then turn the toolboxes into coolers.
Right. Yeah, I had my hatch for years too. I had it for like 5 years, and I was gonna do a project with it. I ended up taking the engine and trans out, and I was gonna do this big thing. And then I just got more involved in my Prelude and put my Prelude together. And one of my best friends, Vincent Ruland, who has a shop here in town called V Technicians, he convinced me pretty much to sell the car to him. We did some trading and hustling, and so I still get to see it. It was a really cool car, and now he's got a project of his own that he's gonna do with it, you know.
It's kind of
So
nice when you're able to see your
yeah,
like vehicle with somebody that's like just making it.
that's why I didn't mind selling it to him. He got a good deal, and I got what I wanted out of it. So it really works out, you know. He's helped me out, I help him out. That's what friends do for each other.
Right.
That's what I learned in Ohio, man. A real friend, it's almost like unspoken. Like even if like you help them out with something silly or stupid, they're like down and you give them a joint. It's not like you're like, you owe me a joint now. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, you need that, and I'm sure you would do the same for me, and then they will. You know what I mean? If it's ever like switched, that's just what friends are. They help each other out, you know?
It's not about keeping track of who did what. It's, you know, just like, hey, dude, you good?
Exactly. Being friendly, dude. Yeah, that's how I've always felt about it. And so me and Vincent, we've just been close. We met because of Preludes. His girlfriend drove a Prelude, and so I knew her, and then they got together, and he fucking rear-ended somebody in her Prelude, destroyed it. I was like, this little shithead kid, because he's a lot younger than me. I was like, what a little teabag. And I was so mad at him, and because I knew Shelby better than I knew him, pretty much, you know. So, and it was her car. I was like, man, I cannot believe he wrecked your car. And then his parents got her another one, and something happened with the engine, bro. It was fucked. And then so Vincent and his buddy ended up taking the engine out of that absolutely wrecked, destroyed one that was still good, and putting it in that one that had the fucked up engine in it.
Right.
And then him and Shelby split up, but he got the Prelude because his parents ended up buying her a completely different car. And I was like, fuck her, dude. We're Prelude ganging now, buddy. Pretty much it's just how it worked out because we both loved our cars. You know what I mean? And we were like the only ones in town with him. There was one other guy, and he was older than us, but he ended up being really, really cool guy too, and a severe Prelude enthusiast. Just like us, you know, we loved our cars, and so does he. He had bought it brand new in 1997, and it had over 400,000 miles on it when the engine finally blew out. And when the engine did blow out, Vincent put rebuilt the engine. Well, he didn't rebuild it. We sent it off to a guy to rebuild and put sleeves in it because we boosted it, and it made 350 horsepower, and it absolutely looked like a completely, very, very clean stock Honda Prelude. It was the definition of a sleeper, and it was awesome. But recently he got rear-ended. It's old Steve, so he's probably going to try to fix the car, but it's in pretty bad shape.
That car that we pulled up in, we just got it in September, and brand new, 2024. It only had like 9 miles when we got
Nice.
it.
What kind of car is it?
Chevy Trax.
Oh, okay.
And we had it like a month, maybe almost 2 months. We're cruising home and we fucking hit a deer. Yeah. So it gets put in the shop. We hit the deer in October, and then it was like November 20th whenever it went in, and we just got it back like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay. It's driving good and everything now?
Yeah, but the whole front end was like fucked up, dude. Like it messed it up to where like the reason it took so long is because like they had no parts for it. Like it's so brand new, like they had no parts for it.
I had to like order them in from fucking way far out.
Right.
Detroit.
On y'all's pod, whenever y'all do y'all's thing, like y'all, I hear y'all like, all right, we're gonna take a little pause, and it's like y'all pause, and you're like, save it or whatever, because you were notorious for not saving it that one time.
Yeah.
So, what's like? I'm just real interested in all that stuff too, because I love doing the podcasting, but I'd really love to be like the guy behind the camera doing all this shit while other people are talking, you know.
Yeah, it's just that we run our podcast off GarageBand. We tried a couple different things, and then that's ended up it's what worked best for us and the editing software that Caleb uses.
Okay, when I use the iPad, that I use GarageBand.
Yeah,
but on my computer, I use Streamlabs.
Okay, yeah.
I'm able to like switch the scenes and stuff like that.
So I mean, it's basically just a process of sitting down and trying to figure it out. Like, there's still so much I could learn about the way we operate our podcast and the way the system works, because basically we just got on our feet and then started running. You know what I mean? Yeah. And there has been moments in time, even like just as of recently, where it's like, oh, dude, why do we sound so echoey? And it's like, I accidentally hit a button, and I'm like, fuck, it's this button thing right here that I accidentally hit. You know what I mean?
And this fucking thing, like there's one podcast I did, and that was turned up a little bit, and I realized there's like narrator, where it's like the voice is more like, you know, clear and stuff. And I had it on something to where like the fucking reverb on that was turned way the fuck up.
Yeah, dude.
So one of my episodes that you listen to, the guy that Blackstone's 817, it kind of has that echo to it. But
just making sure it wasn't up right now. I was like, because I was knob diddling earlier, which
over here diddling my knob.
Oh yeah, I'm over there doing the diddy and diddling.
Fucking Ned Diddler over here.
Yeah, that shit's wild.
What do you think about all that?
It's going down, Bubba. I think he's. I think Diddy done.
I was gonna say, you have a bunch of fucking money. Okay, here's what I came up with a conspiracy the other day. Okay. I was thinking the whole reason that Biggie and Pac died was because they found out that Diddy was a diddler, and they didn't want to get diddled by him. So he goes, okay, and then they were like, well, we're gonna tell everybody, and he was like, you can't have that.
Maybe.
That was just a stone thought. I was cruising in the truck with it the other day, and I was like,
my stone thought was like, I was like, Amanda, wouldn't it be cool if like they did bust him and then they just gave away all of his money to the Americans? How much do you think each American would get? Like, you got to be above 18, or well, now, let's just say 21, because now everybody uses 21 as the legal age. If you're 21 years of age, you can receive money. And she said that they're like looking into Oprah now too. You hear about that?
I've heard that.
She's like the richest woman in America, bro.
Ever since Kat dropped that thing talking shit, it's like
I don't know. I feel like,
but the whole Diddy thing's been going on for a while. I know,
for sure.
That. But I feel like they were saying that after Cat Williams started saying all that, then everybody was like, wait a minute, and then they really started looking into it.
Bro, I legit think if they got like rid of all of Diddy's assets, his houses, sold all that shit, his jet, everything he has, all of his record labels and recording studios, bro, I think at least each American will probably get a couple G's. At least, I feel like, bro. Like, maybe like 3 to 9,000 would be sick, but they would obviously never do this. This is a pipe dream for me, but
yeah, I was just saying, you really think America's gonna give out more money?
Nah, the government's gonna take that shit, and they'll still never have enough to pay back the fucking treasury or whatever the fuck it is. It's wild.
It's kind of crazy how like the whole money situation is with America and stuff.
It's like really worth nothing. Yeah.
Like I was telling her the other day, I was like, you do realize like money is so like fake now that it's like we don't see our checks. There's direct deposit, you know, and it's just kind of like you don't ever see the money unless
cash is hard to come by.
Go to the bank and go, hey, can you pull me money out? And then
and then they're like, why? Well, they're like, why? What do you need it for? And you're like, does it fucking matter? Yo, it's my money.
My bank's pretty chill. They know me because I don't ever have like a bunch of money in my account. So when I don't pull a bunch of money out, they're like, oh, rent's coming up. And I'm like,
are you about to overdraft her? Watch yourself.
Oh, you better get back in here and pay it.
Nah, I mean, I don't know, dude. One time I went, when I left O'Reilly's the first time, I had been there for 6 years. And so I had a 401k fully vested. So after 6 years is when they fully vested it. So then after that, I dipped. And I had some money. I had the most money that I had ever had in check form is what it was in. And I went to Chase Bank where I banked and went to deposit it. And it was when COVID was like going down. So everybody had masks. And at the time I was like 26 or 27, and maybe a little bit older than that. But I looked a lot different than I do now. I weighed a lot more. And I don't know. I took my picture of on my ID when I was 21, so I guess I did look a little bit different. But I was trying to deposit money, and they were like real worrisome about it. And they were like, this just doesn't look like you. And I was like, well, it's me. Like, there's my signature on the ID. Do I need to sign something for y'all? Like, I've been banking here for years since I took this photo ID. I've been banking with y'all.
That's crazy too. It's like I've been.
They could go back in the file and see when I started the bank and find the same exact picture of my ID and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they do that.
And yeah. So, but they weren't having that. They was like, could you just, and they were like motioning me to pull my mask down. And I was like, you want me to like pull my COVID mask down? They were like, yes, please. And I was like, all awkward. Like,
She started coughing.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I have Tourette's.
Oh,
Fuck you, motherfuckers.
Yeah, give my goddamn money.
No, so then they finally ended up depositing the money, and it pissed me off, dude. I was like, fuck these guys. They don't recognize me because I'm fat now.
I'm gonna go home and eat.
I was like, fuck these motherfuckers, the biased bitches. What, motherfucker in America can't gain no weight? Oh, motherfucker can't move to Texas and get fat off all that Mexican food? You kidding me?
Come on now.
Let's get real. Anyway. Yeah, so I ended up going back to Chase like 2 weeks later, like, I want all my money in cash.
Now.
Yeah, and they didn't make me pull my mask down, boy. They just fucking gave it to me. And I said, yeah, now close my account. And then they were like, why? I was like, I'm dipping out of here.
Like,
I don't care.
Sir.
I was like, I don't like you guys. I'm getting out of here. I'm not in college no more. This was a college account.
And I'm not in college anymore. So
yeah, I was never in college. I fooled y'all. Ha ha.
Joke's on you.
Bye. Yeah, because they make you fucking pay and shit. They're dickheads. Anyway, so yeah, I went to a different bank and deposited all my money over there. Fuck banks. Fuck COVID.
Yeah. If I didn't have to have a debit card, like for, paying bills and certain stuff, I wouldn't have one. Fuck all that shit.
Yeah, cash is king. I went on vacation recently with a lot of cash because
Come back with it.
I didn't want anything like happen to my cards. Some of it, more than I expected to, honestly. But I brought a bunch. But we kind of split it up and like put it in different places too, because it was like $1,800 cash, which is a lot of money for me to just be rolling around across states with. You know what I mean?
You got a pistol in your lap with that kind of money.
Yeah, I had the blicky. I had a
got
taser.
That motherfucking thing on me.
That taser flashlight too.
My fucking
and
stick.
Yeah, and it worked out. I mean, yeah, kept the cash, none of my cards got shut down still, but it was just when you're traveling and shit, sometimes the bank does weird shit with your money, and that's such a shitty situation to be in.
Mm-hmm.
It happened with Caleb on his trip to Disneyland. Fucking shutting off his cards and shit.
Yeah, when I was up north, I had to call the bank fucking every 2 or 3 days to be like, it's me.
Yeah. I'm up here.
Yeah. I'm eating Subway. That's the closest place.
Yeah.
I can't drive because I don't have a license. At that time.
You ate a lot of Subway in Youngstown? Was that where that was?
Yeah, dude, because like the hotel, one of them, the hotel was like right there. And I was like, bro.
Was it before or after Jared?
It was right before, dude.
Oh,
like,
you were on his side. You were like, that Jared is a cool guy.
Side, bro. I like Subway because they're giving me free cookies.
Jared seems like a cool guy.
Fat me was all like, hell yeah, dude.
Dude, you know what's crazy? Subway has been through so much shit, and just people forget. I bring it up all the time about all the shit that they've done, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah." It's like Men in Black showed up and flashed a whole bunch of people. I'm the only one, and flush people's memory with all the crazy, outlandish shit Subway has done.
Well, refresh, because I kind of don't remember.
You don't remember none of it? Okay, so obviously you know Jared.
The Jared thing, yeah.
Obviously Jared's the biggest one. He's the start of all of it. And then there was the situation with their bread a couple years ago. That was like 10 or 15 years ago, maybe. Did you hear about that?
I think I kind of remember something like that.
Their
I
bread.
remember the bread and like the whole tuna and.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so
See, he does
okay.
remember.
Okay,
Yeah, it's all coming back.
I just had to get a little bit.
Yeah, the bread had like the same material that like you make yoga mats with.
Yeah. Okay.
With some foamy bread. And it's like, and then the tuna, they was like, oh, they tested it and was like, this isn't even.
This isn't even tuna.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know what this is. What is this?
Yeah, I found that out and I was like, dude, that's gross. Make it a flatbread.
Yeah, dude. I'm guilty as charged too, but then I'm still like, damn, these motherfuckers are killing us, bro. They're putting little bits of sprinkles of GHB in that salt and pepper mix that they throw on at the end.
I mean, it's.
What do you fuck with at Subway? What do you get?
I usually get like either the chicken bacon ranch or whatever, or like the Philly cheese steak and
okay,
stuff.
fuck yeah, toasted,
Monster,
obviously.
A bunch of onions and peppers, chipotle, baja, or whatever it is.
I've never tried that.
That stuff's pretty good. It's just got a little spice to it, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Here lately, I've been getting like the steak and stuff because the chicken. Every time I get it, I always get like sick afterwards. I mean, it's also steamed. Kind of the Subway we go to is like where the crack is.
I've never been in that. Oh yes, I have. Yes, I have. In that little strip mall right there by the school, kinda. Yeah, I have been in there once. Yeah, it didn't seem like too bad of a joint when I went, but that was like 7 years ago, 6 years ago. Right, it might be. I always liked Stephenville too, honestly. I mean, it seemed pretty cool when Pokemon Go was real big. I went over there and fucking ran my little ass off.
You probably ran into my buddy a lot.
I bonked heads with him, probably, dude. I was reckless out there. I had a sign fall on my head when I was Pokemon going. Bust me up. I had to get 5 staples in my head. I was one of the injured in the Pokemon Go fucking thing that happened where everybody was dying and shit on the Pokemon. I was like a statistic, you know what I mean? Because I had to get a hospital trip because of Pokemon Go. And then the cop said that I was trying to make a false insurance claim and that it wasn't, that I knocked the sign over onto my own head and my girlfriend's car in the windshield. I was like, no. We came up, the sign wasn't on the car, but the windshield was fucking shattered. The kid came up and was like, my fucking girlfriend, that's the size of her, bumped into the sign and it fell on the fucking car. I'm sorry. He's like, I guess we can like call, I don't know if you want to call somebody. And I was like, I mean, we kind of got to, right? I was like, I don't fucking know, dude. He's like, do you want me to put the sign back down? And I was like, we should just leave it how it is so it can fall on my head later. Yeah. And he's like, all right. And so I called just like the local sheriff. So I'm like, there was just some...
What's up, Stonebirds? Today's episode is sponsored by W. W's an energy drink that you can mix at home. It will give you the no jitters and no crash that you've been looking for. Because wouldn't it be nice to have that oomph when you get up, you know, and you just go to work and you're just like, yeah, man, I'm ready to conquer today. Dang, I need me another espresso for my depresso, another Red Bull because my tummy ain't full. W uses coffee cherry extract, which is a patented all-natural coffee cherry to help fuel you. It's what gives you the laser focus and fast reflex effect. Not only making it perfect for gamers, but also business people, gym junkies, entrepreneurs, hell, anyone that just wants to be better, which is why that's their slogan, of course. They picked 10 of the most critical ingredients to focus and concentrate, plus it has all the important aminos and vitamins that most energy drinks don't offer. No calories, no fillers, no artificial colors. I mean, what else could you ask for? W is sugar-free, melatodoxin-free, and keto-friendly. Yes, you heard me right there. So head on over to WGG. That's DUBBY.GG. Pick up yourself a tub and use code HAFALEHEFE, HAFALEHEFE, at checkout, and you will get 10% off your purchase. So you know the deal. Get back to the show. I can put a commercial in right there.
So anyway, they're like, what happened? While I'm on the phone with them, and I was just like, I don't know, this girl bumped into a sign and fell onto our car. And like, as I'm telling them about it, I'm like looking at the car, like, yeah, the windshield's busted and it's got damage to the little A pillar here. The wind blows and the sign falls again and fucking wiggity whacks me on my fucking head. And I've been knocked out a couple times in my life and it didn't knock me out. I just grabbed my head and I was like, it rung my bell, you know, and I kind of saw some little floaties. Everybody's like, are you all right? Are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. That just really fucking hurt.
Look like Shane Gillis.
I was like, that really hurt. And I took my hand off my head and blood just started squirting violently out of my head, all over me, all over the ground, all over my shirt. And then the guy got like one of his work shirts and wrapped it around my head like a fucking turban. And then I was like, well, the sign fell on me. I'm on the phone with the fucking sheriff's office. I'm like, oh, now the sign fell on me. I busted my head open. They were like, we'll send an ambulance. And my girlfriend, like, with the shattered windshield, which it was so bad that it was like chunks of glass were coming in on us. Like, it was fucked up. Yeah, because now the sign had fell on the car twice now. Me and the car. And so we take off to the hospital. We get there, and then the cop shows up, and I'm like the only one in there. And he walks up to me like, "Are you the guy the sign fell on?" And I'm like, with a bloody fucking shirt wrapped around my head, blood all over my shirt. I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be me. It was me." He said, "What if we told you we had witnesses that said that they saw you push the sign over?" And I said, "I'd tell you to present them. Where they at? They ain't here. Not in the hospital with me, they ain't." Anyway, the county was trying to blame the city, and the city was trying to blame the county because it was on the square here in Granbury. They were like, "That's not ours." And I think it was the county's fucking deal. It was a whole debacle. It was a conspiracy theory within itself. It's not me, bro. I'm not that guy. I got a guy for you, though. He's part of the Bohemian Chat City podcast. His name is Clint. And he claims that birds aren't real.
Pigeons?
Just any birds in general, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I've seen the whole conspiracy theory about the whole pigeon thing.
He thinks they're government drones for sure, but
well, they are because there's
dude, he's got
babies, dude.
Like, I'm surprised he doesn't wear a fucking aluminum. Yeah, I swear. Like,
I said something about that one day, conspiracy theory, and my buddy literally goes, he sends me a Snapchat. He was like, "Bro, he works on a farm that has pigeons and all that shit like that, and he had like the little baby ones, and he's like, look, they're right here." I was like, "Well, that debunked it."
He's like, "I got baby pigeon, bitch." Pigeons just grow up so fast.
They're weird.
Yeah, speaking of conspiracy theories, that whole Diddy shit is fucking insane.
The diddler.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go be your superhero and get him.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I was going to bring that up on this next podcast that we do, that I should just like track him down and diddle Diddy with my diddler, because that's what we named before. Everybody's saying that who he diddled this and diddled that. I came up with a sex toy device called the diddler, and I use it on people who molest people. Okay? I molest them with my diddler. But I don't know. We'll just see where it goes. I haven't dressed up in a long time. I don't want to put that mask on again. They dress me up in
Batman.
No, they dress. It's not even like that. They like dress me up in sexual chains and shit. I gotta like wear like gimp style shit. It's weird, but that's what the molester does, bro. It's his thing. Look, it's not me. I can't control it. The molester does what he wants. So you were talking about Shane Gillis. You a big fan?
Yeah.
You said when I bonked my head, that's what I look like.
I was saying because like you zone out like how he does.
Have you heard the conspiracy about Shane Gillis?
Oh shit!
You haven't?
He is retarded.
No. Apparently, he could possibly have a lead role in a major Hollywood film. Yeah.
What?
And not just any major Hollywood film. An insane director who's really well known and has done all types of cool movies.
Is it Quentin Tarantino's last movie?
Yep. It sure is. The Movie Critic.
No way.
Yeah, The Movie Critic. I guess it's
Shane Gillis is gonna be in Quentin Tarantino's last one.
Nah, it's a conspiracy theory. He mentioned about the guy who was gonna play the actual critic that was gonna play the lead role. I guess dropped out. I can't remember the reason why, but then Quentin mentioned something about how he got somebody who recently hosted SNL to do the lead role, and there's only like a couple people that's done SNL this season, I guess. And he said something like a prickly guy or some shit. I don't know. He said some sort of thing that kind of like
He's kind of hinting towards the.
it would be cool as shit, but I don't know if it would. Maybe, I mean, you never know. You know, sometimes you just don't know what you got. Shane Gillis is a golden boy right now. It's great, and maybe if he blows up, he might change. People do that.
Yeah.
I feel like, Tom and Bert definitely kind of took that path. Bert, not really so much, but I'm sure you heard all the shit about Tom calling people out for being poor and shit.
Mm-mm.
What?
Mm-mm.
You haven't heard about any of that?
No.
Oh my god, dude! You gotta look up "Too Lazy to Try" on YouTube and watch his videos about Tom Segura. Or you can look up anybody. There's so many people that's covered this shit.
They're just talking shit like you're poor.
No, he had that whole. There was like something that happened with a flight attendant with him, and he like got on like Twitter talking shit like fucking poor flight attendant bitch trying to tell me what to do. Like she don't make shit, and like just like, and that's why I don't know if you saw him on. He was on somebody's podcast. Oh, Bobby Kelly. I don't know if you know who Robert Kelly
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
He was on his podcast, and he was like, "So you got cars? You like cars, yeah?" And this was after the whole thing happened, and people kind of started bashing him about like making fun of poor people because he had done it a couple times, and then this time he like went in hard, and he said something about cars. They were like, God, I'm fucking this thing up, this whole shit up. But basically, after he did the thing with the flight attendant, people were all automatically online bashing him. Like, dude, all you do now is like just talk about the things you have and the clothes you're
Be, like,
wearing, and
materialistic.
yeah, very materialistic. And now you're sitting here calling us all poors, and that you don't care if what you talk about bores us because you can do whatever the fuck you want. And then all that happens, and then he goes on Bobby Kelly's podcast, and he's like, "You like cars, right?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I like cars." And he's like, "Oh, well, what kind of cars you got?" And he just got quiet, like just like that. Like, could you hear my stomach just there?
Yeah.
That was cool as shit, huh?
What was that?
I guess I'm hungry. I don't know.
Hungry for that joint.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so that was literally quiet like that. And Bobby was like, "Okay, what do you not want to talk about it?" And he's like, "Huh?" It was
Like,
really weird and awkward, bro. And so I can't believe you haven't heard about that. That's crazy.
What and I mean maybe and there's just I'm this type of person. A million things go through my mind. Hearing
Yeah.
that, what if he's just doing that because whenever he was coming up as a comedian, he was getting so much hate from everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, you fat motherfucker.
And I can't give him, dude. He's from my area. He's from Cincinnati, so
Maybe this is just his way of saying, "Hey, y'all talked all that shit. Guess what? I can do it now."
yeah. Me and him probably
y'all
fucking.
said I was gonna turn into it. Well, fucking might as well. If y'all
Right.
just keep us doing it. I don't know, but that's just
Yeah, me and him probably walked around on the same streets. I used to go up to the University of Cincinnati a lot up there in Clifton and party with my buds. There was the house parties were always jumping, and when I'm one of my good friends I met in Ohio named Joey, he was really good at freestyling too. As soon as I met him, and when we met each other, I was already kind of freestyling stuff. And I remember the first time I took him to Clifton, um, I'd already taken a bunch of my other friends, and he was really introverted and never really wanted to go.
right.
He's like, I don't want to go really party with like people I don't even really know. He's like, I'm down to party with people I know, but like we're going to a whole different area that we're not used to, and like I don't know none of these people. Like it'll be cool, man. I finally convinced him to go, and we went to a couple different house parties. You just find houses that people are partying and just show up. And I knew a guy, a DJ that would always hit me up and tell me where he was gonna be at. So I would just show up and be like, "Show I'm with the DJ. I'm here." And
I'm the sound guy.
roll up, man. Yeah, it was really cool. I can't even remember his DJ name now, but his name is Matt. He's a really cool guy. But fuck, I can't even remember his DJ name. It's been so long. But anyway, I took him up there, and we ended up like getting a little circle going, And man, me and him both just really murdered it. I don't know what it was, but me and him were both on fire. It wasn't like we were normally like this. You know what I mean? We were normally all right, but we both were just had killer 16s that night. And we blew these motherfuckers' minds, dude. And it was just so I could see like how happy he was that these people he had no idea were like, oh, like after he got done, they were like, oh my god, you know what I mean?
Your heart
And like they
pounding,
weren't
you're
bad
like-
either, but like I mean, we really lit it up. And like he was like, I kind of like it here, man. I'm like, yeah, imagine like doing that on a stage. That'd be cool, huh? But when I moved down here and tried to rap on a stage, it did not work out for me.
Get off the stage.
No, they said not. Well, I was playing guitar, and then I thought I'd fucking throw them all off and do a rap song. So I did Yellow Wolf's a Lemonade freestyle. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but it's over like the Lemonade beat. I did that, and like it's talking about fucking fishing and drinking Mountain Dew and shit, and being a cracker.
Fucking texting live.
And yeah, the owner of the establishment over there at the Old School Texas West in Weatherford gave word to the security guard, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll have no more of that." And I was like, "Damn, all right." Then after my set, I walk inside, and they're like bumping rap music, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude? I guess I just suck."
Maybe you were too good, and they were like, "Oh shit,
Nah.
he's gonna want us to pay him."
No, they didn't like it. It was probably too fast. I do a lot of fast stuff.
That
So,
fast rap.
well, that's like what kind of Yellow Wolf style was back then. It was an older thing he did.
Right.
So you just really got into the freestyling too?
Well, I mean, I've always been in music. I grew up like on Metallica,
hell yeah.
Godsmack, and all that stuff. I didn't get into rap until probably like 3rd or 4th grade.
Right.
I mean, I listened to Vanilla Ice, but I didn't know it was
Yeah.
rap.
Yeah.
But I got into rap and stuff. I really, really love like that heavy metal and then dubstep. That's like my two favorite
cool.
things, you know. And I love when they mix and stuff. And I love rap. I actually have a couple of songs, and I got into rapping because it's like I feel like I can rhyme, you know, and I can tell a story in a rhyme, kind of like poetry, basically.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel that way too. I've written a couple things over beats that I found compelling, and it's crazy because like I play a lot of guitar and sing and shit, but I feel like it's just harder for me to. It's just hard to write in general, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing to do. Some people are just born with it, and that's fucking awesome. But
after all this, I'll show you some of my lyrics.
not me. And I've had people that are pretty good at writing give me advice, and basically the advice is, you just got to keep writing. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. And so yeah, you just got to keep at it, and I'm not that great at that. So, but I have written over some pretty cool beats, and I haven't finished like none of them, but I've like written, one verse or two verses, and I think they're pretty good. Those stuff that I've done, I don't think my girlfriend hates so much, but when I freestyle, she cannot stand it. It's just, yeah, exactly. Not in front of people. Stop. Not even by yourself. Not even by yourself. Don't do it.
You're in the shower. She's like, "Shut up."
Right.
Trying.
She doesn't. But she is awesome, bro. She doesn't mind me like. Yikes. Oh, but that's like really the only thing that she like gives me shit about when it comes to like stuff I do. Like she's all in with everything else. You know what I mean? Like when I told her I want to start playing gigs again, she was all for it. And now that I'm in the band, she's down for it. And all types of shit, bro. I mean, I always try to get into different shit. She deals with me with my car obsession and having to go to the shop and do shit, and then the podcast, of course.
Right.
I'm just a busy dude. I stay super busy, man. So I try to have a scheduled out life, and it never works out that way. And I'm a man of plans. Like when plans don't get worked out the way I want them to, I throw a fucking fit like a little bitch. But like I'm like, no, that's the plan. We have to stick to the fucking plan.
Guys,
these are the plans we made for 3 fucking months, and now you're telling me right now, this instant, they're changing. I don't know. I guess I'm just an old fucking whiny man.
An old man.
Yeah, bro. But seriously, that's how I feel about it. I'm like, you make the plans, you fucking stick to them. And it's even like making commitments to people. I've always been that way. When me and her first met, she would introduce me to somebody, and they'd be like doing something like with their car or something that I could like help with, and I'd be like, oh, I do that. They'd be like, oh, will you come over this day and help me with it? I'd be like, yeah, sure. And then that day would come along, and I'd be like, all right, Amanda, I'm gonna go help so and so with this. And she's like, you're actually going? And I'm like, yeah, I said I would. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's just always how I've been. That's how my grandfather pretty much made me out. Like,
man of your word.
Yeah, I feel like my dad was always late to everything too, and my grandpa was a lot more punctual. Right. So, and I've always been pretty punctual, with like showing up on time or a little bit early and all that shit. I wasn't late to school a bunch when I was a kid. I'd be pissed off if I was late. Be like, fuck, I'm late. And sometimes I'd be like, I'm not even going. Like, I'm fucking late now. Like that, I don't know. I guess it was just like embarrassing to me. You know what I mean?
Fucking nerd.
And then and then I wasn't even that good at I wasn't that good in school. Like I didn't make the best grades.
Maybe
I'd
it
say I
just
was
'cause
like
you
pretty
you just
average.
like being at school.
I almost failed the 4th grade, and I thought it was impossible. I didn't think you could fail the 4th grade. Really? Yeah, I thought it was impossible. I was like, yeah, that don't happen to me. That's like, it could never happen to me. It only happens to other people. And then in the 4th grade, my dad was like, bro, you are about to fucking fail the 4th grade. And I was like, hey, shit. So I did a whole bunch of extra credit and shit and like barely passed. And I've never seen a parent more proud of like C's and D's. He was like, because in Ohio, D's are passed. You pass, bro. They were like, he was like, you fucking did it, dude. And my grandpa was like, what the fuck is this? And my dad's like, no, give him some credit. Look at this last report card with like all F's.
Hey, he's trying. Okay?
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
So yeah, I'm a plan motherfucking guy, bro. Stick with the fucking plan.
You'd have probably been pretty upset if I texted you and said, hey, man.
Yeah, 100%. Just because like I have so much other shit I do through the week, and like I said, my girlfriend puts up with all of my shit I do. So like, she like her days with her, she's like, oh, like this is special or whatever.
Right.
And I think it's special too. I love spending time with her. You know, I just got a bunch of shit going on. So like this week, she's like, you want to squeeze another podcast with somebody else in? And I was like, yeah. And she's like,
he's cool.
I was like, but he can come here. And she was like, all right. And I was like, all right, cool.
Convenient.
You know what I mean? So if you would have bailed on me, then I would have had to tell her, and it would have been a whole sticky situation.
Yeah, no. I was pretty pumped about it, honestly.
Yeah.
I've been telling like a lot of people this week. I'm like, dude, this will be the second person from talking out loud on the podcast.
Yeah, and you know, at the same time, I understand. Life happens, dude. Now that I am getting older, I've calmed down quite a bit with my whole angry self. You know what I mean? I used to get pissed off if plans didn't work, and I've become a lot more chill. Just in my work life and shit too.
Right.
Because like there's just things that are fucking out of your control, man. And getting mad about them doesn't really fix it. You know, it just pisses you off more.
That's like that story you told on the pod about that one guy coming in with the bucket full of oil and
Oh yeah,
bags and shit.
yeah, dude.
That shit. And you kept it so cool. You were like, I kept my cool. I was just like, hey man. And then it's like most people would have been like, fuck you, dude, or whatever. And
Dude, he really wanted me to step outside with him, and like younger me, I would have been like, yo, I'm gonna step out here for a second. Just because I don't know, bro. Where I grew up at, like you had to either be about it or really be good at faking it or something.
right.
So you got in a fight with your buddy?
Oh yeah, we got in a fight and like as he was leaving, I was like, man, I can't let it end like that. So like I walked back over and I was like, hey dude, you know, I apologize. He apologized, and then I was like, you want to go get high? And he's like, yeah. And we just went and smoked.
That was like you said within the last couple of years.
Yeah, it was like before it's less than 2 years.
Yeah, I used to fucking roll around very frequently, and I don't know, it wasn't really the greatest thing to do. Sometimes I cut out the netting. I used to, under my pants, I would roll around in swim trunks, bro, just because you never knew when shit was gonna pop off. You pop them pants off, get you some legs rolling too. You know what I mean?
There
Always
you go.
have them legs active, and like I kind of completely forgot about that until recently. My buddy up in Ohio mentioned like, dude, you remember how you used to just like bust down, like pull your pants down, and be like, let's go. Let's fucking do it. I got my swim trunks on today. And I actually got into a fight with my buddy too. And it was totally on me. I was the dickhead. You know what I mean? My other friend convinced me to fucking take $10 worth of weed from him, right? I was supposed to give him some weed. And he's like, we went to get the weed. And I was going to take it back to him. And he was like, we should just smoke this. And I was like, nah. And it didn't take much convincing. I was like, it does look like good weed though. Maybe we should just smoke it. And like I just smoked it and like didn't really think about what happens next. And the thing that happened next was he was like, where's my weed? And I was like, I smoked it. You know, like over text message. I smoked that shit. Yeah. And he's like, bro, that's fucked up. And I was like, it is. And he was like, man, for real, that's fucked up. And he called me and we kind of went back and forth. And I was like, listen, dude, we can fight about it if you want to. And he's like, all right, fuck it. Let's meet up and fight. And so like we planned to meet up. I was all in one spot. He was in, I was like, where are you at? And I'm like, I'm at our buddy's house. And where you at? And he's like, I'm at our buddy's house. And I was like, because we're like at different buddies' houses, but we're all like mutual friends, you know?
Right. Y'all's buddies are like,
So like we all meet up and there's a bunch of people there, way more than I expected. I was like, damn, how many people are over there at Jesse's? What the
triple
fuck, dude?
fat.
Yeah, and we squared up. And well, when I got there, he was like, bro, that wasn't even my money, that was David's. And I was like, fuck. Damn it. David, I will pay you back $20 for that $10. I was like, I'll pay you back. And he's like, all right, cool. And I was like, Guy, we still got to fight. His name was Guy. And I was like, we brought all these people here. And he's like, it's true. And so we squared off, bro. And he busted my nose wide the fuck open, bro. I ended up winning because he's like, I got asthma. I'm done. And I'm like, I've never heard him say he had asthma in his entire fucking life until that moment. But so he tried to swing at me and I ducked it and I scooped him and slammed him on the ground. And I went to like just lean all of he wouldn't let me get to him. He had his like foot in my stomach. And I was like on top and I pushed his foot out of the way and I went to just kind of drop all my weight in and like pound his face with my fist. But instead, he just moved his foot to my face. And so I fell onto his fucking shoe with my face, basically. Yeah, he busted me open good. I was leaking. And then afterwards, we went back to Jesse's house together and smoked more weed like you and your homie did. So it is just one of them things. Sometimes you got to fight with your friends.
You got to let out that anger a little bit. And it's like, you got to get that one homie that's like, hey, bro, I'm angry too.
You're getting out of your state, bro. Don't worry here. And I'd give it a couple more years, you'll tone down a lot like I did. Once you hit 30 years old, you stop being so rowdy.
I'm a pretty chill dude. I don't really do much. No, well, back in the day, I was fucking wild. But whenever I got alcohol poisoning and OD and I woke up in the hospital,
right?
That was kind of like a wake up call. So I stopped doing fucking hardcore drugs. Still smoke weed.
Yeah, but ain't nothing wrong with that, bro.
Oh yeah. But now I just go to work, go home. If I have time, I'll play video games for a little bit.
Right. Normal life, man. That's basically what I'm about to. I got 2 kids on top of all the other shit I do. They're awesome. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I make all the time I can to spend with them. They're both really cool kids. I got blessed with how cool they are. You know, boy and a girl, so it works out perfect that way too. Yeah, you start getting older, you become a dad. I had all these fast, cool cars, and then the next thing I built was a minivan. You know what I mean? Only vans, baby. Van Diesel.
Subscribe.
Yeah, I've always wanted a Honda Odyssey. I've always wanted a minivan. Even when I lived in Ohio, I was like, man, I could tow all my friends around in this thing.
I mean, come on.
Instead of shoving everybody into my Saturn, dude, a minivan.
Think about the hot box.
And Amanda's car that she was driving for forever, her little Honda got wrecked, and so we got her a new car. And I was like, man, it'd be cool for me to get something. Like I tried to get her to get an Odyssey then, but we ended up getting a CRV. She did not want a minivan, and I was like, dude, I would drive a minivan. And then my best friend buddy Vincent got one, and he fixed it all up. And I was like, bro, let me buy it from you. And he was like, no, you're not buying my minivan. And I was like, please let me buy your fucking minivan, dude.
You don't be saying that.
I was like, you don't even, at the time he didn't even have a kid. I was like, you don't even, just fucking let me buy the minivan. You don't even have any kids. And he's like, no, dude, I'm sorry. I really like the minivan. You can't have it. And I was like, all right, fine. Well, let's find me a minivan. We're going to find me a minivan. And then the minivan ended up coming to us, dude. Some lady walked up one day named Gloria. And she was like, hello, you sell minivan? And he was like, no, I'm not selling. No. Why? She's like, I just have minivan. It's over there. It's red. And he's like, well, would you sell that minivan? And she's like, yeah, how much? And he was like, well, what's wrong with it? And she's like, I hit a cow. He was like, oh, fuck. So he goes over there and he's like, man, it really don't look too bad. The body shop that our shop is next to, they did a little bit of work, like put a new fender and shit on it already. So it didn't look too bad, but the under the hood part was fucked up. But he was like, I don't know, what do you sell for like $800? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, all right. Vincent hit me up like, dude, she'll sell for $800. And this was like the upgraded version that had like leather, heated seats, and the DVD player, old school and shit. So I was like, dude, how sweet. I was trying to buy your stupid cloth seat, no DVD, stupid van, stupid.
for a bunch of money. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna buy this for $800.
Yeah, dude. So I rolled over there and I was like, "Does it start?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I started up and I just drove it around the parking lot. And I was like, "It seems good to me, man." But I didn't realize at the time that it was not shifting gears.
Oh, because you're just in
So-
a parking lot. You're not
Yeah.
going
So I buy
60.
I was like, it runs and drives. Fuck. Bought it from her, $800, and then realized it had a bad trans in it. So yeah, me and Vincent came across another minivan. Somebody wrecked through a fucking barbed wire fence, and he wanted the engine, and I needed a trans. So he's like, "We're just throwing on this van together." So we paid $350 each and got a van delivered to the shop. And we did a fucking fat, crazy, massive, craziest burnout I've ever seen a minivan do in person. It was insane, dude. Smoked out our shop and shit. Gnarly burnout right before we pulled it onto the lift and tore it all apart. And that was just the parts van, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then God, I wish we would have recorded that, but everybody was so shocked it even did it. You know what I mean? We
it's
didn't
a
think it'd do a
fucking-
burnout,
yeah.
and then it fucking just let one rip right before we tore everything apart. And so I put the trans in, and then we had to beat the fuck out of like the wheel well and shit to get it from quit rubbing. And then we actually ended up taking that parts van and cutting the whole quarter front of it out and cutting mine off, and then welding the part from the minivan that went through the barbed wire fence because it wasn't near as bad as mine.
Right.
It really wasn't damaged at all. They damaged the middle more than they did the side. And did that, replaced the windshield was shattered on it. I got that replaced, and now she's running, driving down the road. It's my daily fucking driver, dude.
That's what's up, dude.
And
$800.
yeah, I paid for like everything. I ended up paying like $2,400 because when I had it all out, I just did it all.
Right.
When I did the trans, I took the whole engine out too. I dropped everything, and I did the timing on the engine, new gaskets, all types of shit, man. New tensioner, new belts, like you name it. And then it ended up catching on fire right after I got done with it.
Fuck.
Yeah, I got finished with it, and I was doing the seam sealer on the part that I had welded in, and parked it, and I guess the starter solenoid bolt broke or something, and then it just started arcing inside of the solenoid, and it caught fire, and I went to start it up like 2 days later, and it was just like click, 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 nothing. And I opened up the hood. Actually, Vincent opened it up, and he was like, "Oh my fucking God, there was a fire in here," and it just, luckily, it put itself out and didn't burn the fucking van to the ground.
Shit.
And then I just replaced the starter, and it's been good since then. But all in all, I spent like $2,400 to get it registered and title and everything for it.
That's not bad.
Yeah, not bad for a fucking little minivan to cruise around in. And my kid Jetson, my boy, is like, he's always been obsessed with buses, and now he thinks that's his bus. He's like, bus, mini bus. He calls it a mini bus, and he fucking loves it. He gets pissed off in the morning if Amanda takes him to school because he's not taking the bus. Like, I need to take him to school in the bus, you know what I mean?
Right.
And normally I do, but if like for some reason Amanda has to take him, like I'll walk him out there, and like he like thinks we're walking on the bus, and I put him in her car, and he gets pissed, bro. I wanted to, so I wrapped my Prelude, and I was really contemplating wrapping my Odyssey, like school bus yellow for him. She's like, well, he'll fall out of that phase, and he still hasn't. He's like
it's just a
obsessed. We have to get him like Hot Wheels all like at the store and shit, and he always wants, if it's a bus, like we have to get it for him. So he's got more like buses than anything, dude. He might be, dude. Like and it's crazy because when I was a kid, I had like a little bus that I constantly played with at my grandma's house, and she still has it. So I'm like, that's cool. We should give it to him.
Right.
But yeah, like I would always just be playing with my bus, and like my mom would be like, dude, you were so wild. You'd be like playing. And I remember one time you like were yelling, and I'm like, what are you tripping out about? And you said you kicked a kid off the bus. And I was like, why'd you kick? And my grandma was like, why'd you kick him off the bus? And I said it was because that he spilt milk on that son of a bitch. I said, you spilt milk on that. And I don't even remember. I was like 4, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, like my kid is obsessed with him. But I'm still gonna wrap that van, just not. I don't think I'm gonna do yellow, man. That's a tough for a van.
Yeah,
It's like a taxi, you know.
Yeah, people would see it and they'd be like,
Yeah, you never see yellow vans, man. Or like it'd be a weird, because school buses are like orangish yellow. It's like eye trick, bro.
Right.
You know what I
It's
mean?
like it's the safety yellow.
Yeah, it's a hard, like, you see that yellow. It's hard to find in rap. Trust me, I did some research.
He's like, I've
Like
looked.
that one's not quite right. You know what I mean? It's not the right shade, school bus shade.
So, Drifters Atlas, y'all, you got any shows coming up? Anytime
Yeah,
soon?
we do. I'm playing my first gig since I've been with the band. April 19th, 4/19. At this place called the Vending Machine in Denton. It's actually a house, but it has a vending machine that you get beer and cigarettes and all types of shit from. Like, obviously, you got to pay, right?
Right.
But all of that goes like back towards their house and like who they book for their shows and shit. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool theory. I was like, man, they need to get more in there.
We'll definitely have to try to. We'll definitely.
Yeah, it's a far drive out that Denton
Yeah,
show.
Denton, yeah.
But what the cool thing is the very next day, 4/20, we're doing a show at the fuck, I don't know what it's called. It's in Weatherford though. It's like Northside Remedy is what it's called. I believe. I hope that's what it's called. I don't know. It's not in my notes here. I'm really hucking it, but
He's like-
I think it's called Northside Remedies. That's where this other show is in Weatherford on 4/20 day. So back-to-back gigs. My
I
first.
mean, what happens on 4/20?
I think it might be Hitler's birthday.
Whenever he turns 16.
Yeah. So do you normally celebrate 4/20? I'm guessing, right?
Yes. Since I was 13.
Yeah, me too. I always have a lot of fun. I guess this 4/20 is going to be a little different for me. I've never played I've played a lot of gigs by myself. I'm mainly a solo artist. I normally play the guitar and sing, and just do it all. And right before I got into the band, I actually got one of those harmonicas, and I know a couple country songs. I say I don't like country music, but coming down here and playing gigs, I did kind of have to adapt. And so I like country songs that I can relate to. I never really said why I didn't like country, but it was just because I was from the city, man. Like, I couldn't really relate to certain things that a lot of country songs are talking about. I didn't get out there in the mud and play on my four-wheeler because I didn't have a fucking four-wheeler, and I lived in the city.
I had a bike.
Yeah. So basically, if there's songs that I can relate to or like that make me feel a certain way, like I can appreciate those songs. One of my dad's favorite songs of all times is called "Almost Home" by Craig Morgan. It's some people don't know it, but it's pretty. I say it's a pretty well-known country song, and it's just about a homeless guy and a guy like talking to a homeless guy, waking him up because he's freezing cold, and the guy being like, "Man, you fucking woke me up out of my dream. I was at my house in my dream." You know what I mean? I was dreaming about being home in
And I was nice and
1955. I was about to go fishing with my dad, and you fucking woke me up. And it's really like genuine and fucking sad. I like sad songs, so I know how to play that one. I do it live, and then I do "Save Me" by Jelly Roll, and that's obviously like a fucking. I mean, come on. That's obviously like a really fucking relatable, deep song, and it's also sad. And then that I learned that fucking window serenade window song because I got the neck harmonica recently, and I
Right.
started learning how to like play the harmonica and play the guitar and sing. And yeah, Whiskey Myers, I think it is, right? Have you ever heard the song? You've heard the fucking song.
I mean, I'm sure.
Broken Window Serenade is what it's called. That's what it's called. Ba, 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 if I had my harmonica. You know what? I might try to do it. I might be able to do it. It's been a while since I practiced it, but I know I could probably do the first verse. If I had you guys hit me up with the words at the end, maybe. But we do have to wrap this up soon, huh?
I appreciate you for having us in your little
in my house,
Yeah.
dude.
his
Yeah,
own- his
appreciate you
little
guys
house. It's
coming
just
up.
his house, like I said. But no, I can't wait to come and do y'all's.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to do more of these and shit.
Yeah, hopefully we make the one over here over at Stroking Out Loud, the Stroke Factory, longer. And I know me and you both are ADHD ridden. We're kind of all over the place, but
That's kind of the point of this one. This little like the two birds, one stone, because it's like half this podcast.
oh, we need to do this real quick. Fuck,
the
we
two-
weren't even that stoned.
The two birds, one stone is kind of like a segment where it's like I sit down with people that I've never like met, or I haven't talked to in a while.
Oh, yeah.
And and I just get to know him or whatever and shit. But yeah, I don't really have, and I'm on. This will be like the 13th episode. I'm still learning a lot of this stuff, and
God damn it. We're just gonna do it like that.
yeah,
We don't need no filters.
this is
This ain't no,
1950s.
this ain't no cigarette.
We over here smoking that good stuff. I'm Sean Connery. I slap women, smoke cigars.
Right? I love whiskey, bro.
Have you tried Rabbit Hole?
Mm-mm.
Pretty good. I'll when
Is
you
it
come-
somebody's whiskey? Is it like a
Could
comedian?
be. No. I know Andrew Santino's sponsored by him,
Oh, okay.
but I listened to him and then like I tried it and I was like, it's actually pretty good. I used to sip Jameson.
Yeah, I like all types of whiskey. The smoothest I've ever had is Bushmills, and I had some 10-year-old aged stuff that I got in Florida when I was down there on vacation with my buddy. He got some Glenlivet that was aged like 12 years, and I got Bushmills that was aged 10. And they were both really, really good sipping whiskeys. Super smooth. You just drink them with ice and fucking whiskey, you know,
Right.
on the rocks. And then I just recently got Caleb a 12-year-old bottle of Bushmills for his birthday or Christmas or something. And it's really fucking good, too. So I really fuck with that. It's just pricey, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just a normal drinking whiskey, I'll take it strong. I like bourbon. Yellow Wolf has one called Creek Water. It's super affordable and it's 100 proof.
Oh shit.
Yeah, 100 proof bourbon.
I'll have to add that to the collection.
Yeah, you can get it at Specs for like $25, bro. It's a white bottle with a cool writing that says Creek Water on it with like it's a white label with like trees and shit in the background.
I got a buddy that works at Specs in Stephenville.
Oh, cool.
I'll just look him up and
Didn't
be
you
like,
used to
hey.
work at Specs?
No.
That was your buddy that worked at Specs? I think I listened to that podcast.
Oh, the bigger dude?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, okay. It's because whenever I started it, I was on the couch and he was in my chair. And we were switching it, and he was all like, I was like, oh yeah, my name's David, and I quit Specs or whatever.
With my ass hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was the one that actually quit.
Mm.
So yeah.
And then his battery did that really happen to him? Was his
No,
battery?
no, I was
That's
joking.
fucking funny,
I was
dude.
joking because he called me one night and he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, nothing, just, chilling in bed or whatever. And he's like, can you come jumpstart my truck? I was like,
God dang it! All right, I'll be there in a second.
yeah. So I went
Yeah,
and
that's
jumped him off it.
what are friends for, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We're kind of like we're trying to start our own little thing too. We're like Chris Farley and David Spade.
Okay.
Kind of thing,
Fat man in a little coat, dude.
But like him and his buddy are starting a podcast, and I'm gonna be like their producer. And
Oh,
editor and
sweet.
stuff,
That's cool, man. When we first started, we thought like we were the only ones here in town, and then we met the guys in Cleburne that do Bohemian Chat City. Like I was talking about Clint. I was talking about Clint earlier. He's
Yeah.
their producer, and now he started off kind of as like their producer. Now he's like part of the show. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's a really cool guy. And now we met you, and now you're like, oh, I know these other guys that podcast too. It's like a sphere, more people. You know what I mean? A bigger crowd than we thought of podcasters.
Yeah, because that guy, him and his buddy, they know this one dude that like his wife's really known in Hollywood from like the 60s, I think.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have a bunch of like known people and shit like that on their podcast. I was like, this is
Yeah,
kinda cool.
I was actually meaning to ask you, like, do you have sponsors people that sponsor your podcast or like episode?
Well, since I did the whole gaming and streaming and shit like that, I did get sponsored by Dovey, just that energy drink stuff or whatever.
You did gaming, like
Yeah.
streaming,
Mhm.
like kind of
I
like
still
what
do.
Josiah does.
Yeah, I still do.
Oh, that's cool.
I
See, I
stream on,
didn't
like-
know
I
that,
stream on
bro.
Twitch and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. You got to get on the Stroking Out Loud Discord, bro.
I know. I keep forgetting to ask y'all. I'm like, I want to ask him what the Discord is, and I forget. I get on every now and then. I'm not.
I can send you an invite. We'll just have to add each other on there.
Go check me out.
Are you on Josiah's Discord that he has?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm on
I mean,
his.
I might be. I don't know. I'll have
He
to
has like a
look.
gaming Discord.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
But yeah, I
So-
stream on Twitch and shit like that.
What's damn, dude? You do have to come up onto our show. You can shout your little streamer name out.
Dope.
So how does that work out for you? I mean, I don't really know how any of that shit works. I've watched a couple streamers because I think they're funny, but
It's pretty fun, honestly. Like I'm almost at 260 followers on Twitch,
that's cool.
and
Hell yeah.
I have a lot of friends over like I have one friend over in Belgium, and they were teaching me French, and I have a buddy over in Australia that's gonna be on the podcast.
Boy,
one day.
fuck yeah.
Yeah, fucking cunts.
Yeah, there you go. That's what's up, dude.
But,
So, what games do you play then?
Call of Duty, Fortnite, like all the competitive gaming.
Right.
But I'll play like I play God of War. I'm PlayStation, so I'll play like God of War, Assassin's Creed.
Cool.
You know, shit like that.
Yeah.
I love that like sneaking or like battle fighting type stuff.
Yeah, for years I was heavy into Call of Duty. When they first came out with I think it was Black Ops 4 when they came out with that Battle Royale mode on that. I was all over it.
See, I didn't know about that. I didn't get into Battle Royale until Warzone.
Yeah.
So I came into it and I was like, what the fuck
I
is
started the
this?
Battle Royale shit early with that game. When that game came out and I saw that Battle Royale, I bought it and got on there. And then they came out with the other one and it wasn't so bad either. And then they came out with Warzone, I think. I think there's been like 4 of them now.
I think it
Because
came
now
out
there's
Black
Warzone
Ops 3,
2.
didn't it?
Maybe it was 3.
Or it was 4 and then whatever Call of Duty after that, and then it was Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and then that's what came with Warzone.
Yeah. And then now Warzone 2 or whatever. Right.
No, they're like fucking. Well, yeah, they have Warzone 2, but now it's on like Modern Warfare 3.
Oh,
was basically
yeah,
just like
seeing
a
that's so
DLC.
confusing. And dude, I was stuck on that game for forever. And dude, it just got really bad especially with all the cheaters. Fuck.
You can ask her. She's like, whenever I first started streaming, we lived in this one spot where it was like, where I was streaming at, it was the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
So like, she was like, I'd be like screaming and shit like that. But then
Yeah.
like when we moved into the house we're in now, I'm able to have my own room, which you'll have to come and do the podcast over there one day. And that.
Yeah, I do need to come check it out. It's probably got to be cooler than the shed for sure. Just a little bit, maybe.
It doesn't have guitar cases, but yeah.
Yeah, that's all this place has got. It's worth anything. It's not worth much.
Oh, dude, look. I was about to say the Kill Tony, yeah. I was sitting here, I keep looking at it. So
Yeah, bro.
kind of why I asked you. I was like, were you on it?
I'd be rapping, dude. No, but I don't know, man.
After this, I'm gonna tell you my little 1 minute, or if I go into
Okay.
Tony.
Well, I'm 2 birds, 2 stoned. What the fuck were we just talking about?
Gaming and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. I was really liking the Warzone shit, even though the cheaters were bad, and I was still like in it some, and I got my dad into it. I went up there to visit him because he lives 1,000 miles away. He was in Ohio still, and he just recently moved back to Indiana, which is where he's from, and that's where my dad's side of the family's from. And so he's living back over there now. But when I went up there to visit him a couple times ago, I got him on the Xbox Live. I was like, look, I'll pay for the live. Let's just plug your shit in, because he had internet. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was like, I'll buy the live. I'll show you how to play this game. We can fuck around on it together. And so we did, dude. I was always popping off with my dad, and like he's got nerve problems in his hands, so like he sucked so bad at first. And I gotta be watching him, like I'd be watching him, I'd be like, Dad, fucking turn around. Like I'd get so frustrated with my pops, and I definitely shouldn't have, but you know what I mean? We're trying to work as a team, and I'm like, turn around. He's like, my thumbs don't work, damn it. You know what I mean? Like legit, dude. My dad taught me how to play guitar. Like I say like all of a sudden I just became this crazy. My dad was my huge influence on me, and like that's who taught me everything. And he was never like, you're gonna learn. He's just like, you want to learn something, just come holler at me. And so it was super organic.
Right.
And I thank him for that. But now he's got older and he's got nerve problems in his hands, so he can't even play anymore, which is a bummer, right? I hope that never happens to me, but it's crazy. So yeah, I mean, he did too. It just happened. He got a pinched nerve in his back one day, bro, and then fucking now his fingers go numb. It started off, he was like dropping his pick at first, and then next thing you know, it's like, dude, he can't even feel his fingers. You know what I mean? So yeah, it does suck, but you know, life goes on. He's playing the
still rocking.
Yeah, he's playing the harmonica now, bro.
Yeah,
So like he's getting it in one way or another with that music.
You know, they say people that play an instrument or learn different languages live longer than most people.
Right, and he gave me his guitar that I grew up with, you know, so now I have it, and it's like a family heirloom, bro. It was broken in half when he gave it to me, and I took it to Lamb's Music in White Settlement, and they fucking did a bang up job putting it back together.
Fucking paint it yellow and give it to your son.
No, dude, it's like a cool dark green.
You're
It
like,
almost
no.
looks black. It's a really cool color, and it's crazy interesting guitar. You'll never. I really can say like you'll never see another guitar like it. Like you might see one like it, you might not, but you'll probably not see that one. It's just stupid rare. They only made it for 1 year, and it was in 1989. But yeah,
Fuck yeah, dude.
from 89 to 90, it's an Alvarez Series 1590. If you look it up online, a video of me pops up, and that's like it. You know what I
Is
mean?
it on your
I
Stroking Out
scoured
Loud?
to try to find it even when I was a kid, I was like trying to find. And you actually, if you see their One Cold Night, the acoustic set, the whole time the lead guitar player is playing my dad's guitar. It's the same guitar,
Damn.
which is pretty cool. It's not like the same exact guitar, but it's like that model. You know what I mean?
Because
It's
there's
a
only
super
so many.
yeah, it's a super rare one.
That's
And
awesome.
so like I didn't know what it was. You know, I tried to find it online, could not figure nothing out about it. And it's like one of the guitars you can describe, and it's like that's you described a guitar that doesn't sound like any other guitar. It doesn't have a sound hole. It's got a cutaway fretboard. Like it's dark green. It's acoustic. I don't know. It's just one of those guitars. And I called Alvarez, the people who made it, and like left them a voicemail because nobody answered. And I got a call back, and dude was like, "I know the exact guitar you're talking about. It's a model. It's a Series 1590." I looked it up online and found like one that was for sale somewhere. You know what I mean? And they wanted like $800 for it, and it was fucked up. And so yeah, I took it to the fucking guys, and they banged it out, and now it plays and all that shit again. So, but yeah, my dad taught me all that shit, and damn, dude, I keep getting fucking. Now I'm too stoned for sure, bro. This podcast is a thing, right? This is supposed to happen, right?
Welcome to Two Birds, Both Stoned.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
gonna be the title on this episode.
I forgot what we were talking. Oh yeah, my dad playing games with me. That's what it was.
right,
Yeah. So, dude, he fucking he started off. He sucked, dude. And then I kind of fell off on the game because it got so frustrating to me. I'm like, it would always lag out, and fucking I'd get kicked, or like I couldn't hear him, and like I was like, fuck, this game sucks. You gotta before you can even play the game, you gotta take 30 minutes trying to get everybody all in the same party and everybody booted off into one game together. You know what I mean? It just had a lot of bugs.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of drifted off for a little bit, and then I came back and played some more with him. Bro, this motherfucker's a maestro. I don't know what he did, but his thumbs be working on that game now. He knows, like, he just got really good at it. He's been playing it for like 3 or 4 or 5 years now. Like, he's been playing it for a hot minute.
Video games are kind of good in some ways. They say like people that play video games are really good at operating equipment because they're able to memorize what stuff does. And all that shit.
Yeah, he's gotten pretty good because like I watch him now and I'm like, damn, dude, you're murdering him. And he's like, I'm doing all right. I mean, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean, dude? Like, I'm watching you work these motherfuckers right now.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, shout out Pops, bro. He's cool as shit, man. My whole family's, we're all into music, man. My cousins played, like all of us. So I'm probably like the least talented out of all of them, to be completely honest. They're all crazy good.
I haven't heard you play, but I've seen some of the videos on YouTube and stuff.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
I try to support the homies and stuff like that. There was one guy I bought a gaming chair from that he like streamed and stuff. We kind of talked for a minute. I was like, hell yeah, dude, I'm down to collab and stuff. And all of a sudden he just quit talking. He stopped posting too. So I was like, oh, maybe he
just quit
quit
altogether.
Or he quit live. I don't know. He was kind of like a depressing dude.
Oh damn,
that'd be pretty bad.
That's a bummer.
I don't want to end the podcast.
He turned his system off forever.
Yeah, he unplugged the Xbox 360. He had the red ring of death.
Oh fuck! Hell yeah, dude.
This is how we ended on a dark end. No, but thank you again for having me here. I'm glad to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for coming to my shed and listening to me bullshit with you.
No, that's awesome. I love being able to do that with people because now we can just collab more and stuff. It's gonna make it more fun.
Yeah, dude. I'll get you on the Discord. You'll come over to Stroking Out Loud. Could make it out to the show on 420 if you get high enough. Yeah.
Definitely gonna make it to one of those for sure.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I probably end up playing more. That's just what we got booked for right now. See how those go. And
be sure to send me like some of the stuff, and I'll like be sure to tag
Hell yeah, because I don't have like any social medias or anything like that. I mean, all your listeners, if they want to check anything that I specifically do out, I'm the main one on the Stroking Out Loud podcast YouTube channel. So you guys can follow me there. Follow Stroking Out Loud podcast on Spotify, or Apple Podcast, or wherever you find your podcast. And I don't really know what else to say besides that.
One thing I do ask people at the end, I forget to do it recently, but if you could go back and tell 14-year-old self you something, what would it be?
Move to Texas sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. That would probably that's pretty easy.
Yeah. Think life would have been a little bit different.
Yeah, maybe. I just know, man, up there, you're just always looking over your shoulder and shit. You know, just lock your car up and just.
I mean, you
I don't
can still
know.
feel like that
Like I
if you go to
said,
Dallas.
I still met a bunch of cool people, and that was all good and gravy. But damn, dude, I turned 18, and all I did was work at Arby's for 3 years. I couldn't find another fucking job. I was just slicing that roast beef, baby.
Hell yeah.
And it wasn't a bad job, and I never got tired of their food. That shit was good, son, and it still is good this day. I'll munch me some curly fries.
Fuck
I was
yeah,
that
dude.
motherfucker at the party. I show up.
With the fucking Arby's
I
bag.
closed the store, bro. So I closed the store, show up with the fucking turnovers, the fries, the mozzarella. Everybody's like, you stink like Arby's, but you have all the Arby's in your hand. I'm like, yeah, dude, check it out. And but that's all my life was. You know what I mean? Driving around, smoking weed, selling weed. I had to get on a path, man. You know, like you said, everybody has their own path.
Exactly.
My path was coming to Texas for sure, because now I'm set up as you know, I'm happy. I got my girl, I got my kids, you know, I got all my little hobbies that I get to do. Yeah. So it really worked out for me in the long run coming down here, man. And like my dad, he asked me one time when he was still living in Ohio, like, would you ever move back to Ohio? And I was like, no.
Nope.
And like he kind of got offended. And I was like, Dad, you got to understand. I kind of like broke it down to him. And he's like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, and it's just like so much more than that. It's not just about having to worry about, but it's like, now when you have kids, you don't want to put them in that either.
Right.
And I don't want them to see the shit that I saw growing up. Because I saw some shit, son. You know what I mean?
Right.
We didn't even really get into
Yeah,
it.
you're all tatted up. You don't want your kids tatted up.
No, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. I didn't get my first tattoo till I was 19, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
This one
so
was my first one.
yeah, I was a little bit older than most of my friends. They were 17 in school, tatted up and shit.
Yeah, I know
My
a lot
best
of
friend
people.
Joey, he was tatted up in
All
school.
my Mexican friends in school were all tatted up before we were even 14.
My friend who got me the job at Arby's he got a tattoo. His mom passed away, so when he was like 15, he got a tattoo. He's the youngest kid. I was like, whoa, dude, you got a tattoo? That's wild. It was like praying hands on his shoulder, and he got me my first job. That was my good buddy up there. Like I said, I met a lot of cool people. When you're good people, you normally link with good people. You know what I mean?
Hang around good people, and if you're a good person, good people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want to hang around with the wrong crowd. And, you know, I might have fell into that crowd. Sometimes I was at places where I might have not belonged. But at the same time, like, that doesn't mean that they're not good people in a different way. You know what I mean? If
Everybody's
they like,
good in their own way.
Right.
In some ways. You know.
right.
Hell yeah. Good way to end it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me on your show, bro. Thanks for
Yeah,
coming to me.
of
I really
course.
appreciate the hospitality and you just being like, I'll show up over here. We'll do
Yeah.
whatever it takes to get you
That's
on.
why, because I feel like a lot of times people feel a little bit more comfortable in their home whenever they go to.
Or their shed.
Yeah, their shed.
Yeah, dude. At least the lighting's
If
nice.
you just been like, relax.
I changed that. It was a Yellerms one, and I found a better one to put in.
I
too.
thought about that too because when you sent the picture, I was like,
The lighting's
Okay.
kind of trash. Did you notice that? Did you
Yeah.
notice me change the light?
yeah.
Oh, that's
'cause
so cool.
Whenever I came in here, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because I was gonna bring like I have a big ring light, but then I also have one that's like you plug it USB and it's just like a little ring light.
Yeah.
It's just enough to where it's like it gives that.
Yeah, I just recently put the fucking smart lights in my home where you can like change it on your phone and shit. I did it for my girl for something. I don't know what it was for Christmas, I guess. I can't remember. But I fucking hooked her up with those and I brought all these are old ones and I brought them out here and when I was like trying to clean out the shed for you to come a little bit, I was like,
Keep looking at it. And I can...
yeah, I found the box of lights in here and was like, I'm gonna fucking screw one of these fuckers in and see what it looks like. And I was like, damn, that brightened this motherfucker up, boy.
Fuck.
I was like, damn, why are we using these in the house?
Yeah.
It's like a fucking office light.
Hell yeah. All right,
But-
birds. Peace out.
Peace. Besides that, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.